Alright, HadesOmegaSpec here. So this is the next video in my Supermoto slider kind of how-to making vlog for the Suron Lightbeat. So last time we did the front right here. These guys, they actually turned out great. Yeah, they turned out really good. I'm really happy with them. So for this next one, we're going to do the rear axle slider right here. It's gonna be it's gonna be in this area somewhere here. So you're gonna have another axle slider for the rear axle. And so what inspired me to design this one or to build this one is this guy, the Suron X fender, and the Warp 9 axle sliders. So if I was shopping for like sliders that might work on this bike, and I know Warp 9 makes a slider that like it's basically a plate. It's a plate that you replace the adjuster block here. So this adjuster block is basically it's like a big washer sort of kind of, and basically Warp 9 has made an adjustment block that you can screw a axle slider onto, and it replaces your existing adjuster block. So unfortunately, I don't think they make one for this bike. I think this is used a 12mm axle or something. They don't make it for something like that, and that's like a common size for like a Grom or something, or like a small dirt bike. So, but I got an idea from this. So this basically, the way it mounts is it's kind of like it acts as kind of like a washer sort of, or it's just a plate. It's just a plate. So there's a plate here, and it mounts right behind the adjuster block. So I already have the longer axle. This kit came with the longer axle, so I can do this. So you would kind of need to have the X fender and get the longer axle, or you could probably email. You might be able to email Luna Cycles and ask them, hey, you guys have any of those longer axles for the X fenders lying around? I'd like to get one, you know. I'm sure maybe they might have one, or they might be able to get you one, or just buy the fender kit. It's like $25. So rather than trying to drill a hole through the axle, which I think we probably could do, I kind of want to make something fancier. So we're going to use this as a template is what we're going to do. So basically, I'm going to copy this part here. We could actually just drill a hole in this and then stick a slider onto it too. That would actually work also. But I kind of just wanted to make a standalone thing. I don't think I really want to use this. I think it's kind of ugly. I think it works really good. I'm not gonna lie. This fender actually works pretty good, and I haven't broken it. I put it through some pretty rough riding, and I haven't broken it yet. So it's actually a pretty good unit. But I wanted to make a standalone version, so it's just going to be like this part here. I'm going to make a copy of this basically out of a piece of flat steel. So this is the plan right here. We're going to copy this from this, and I measured this beforehand. I took a caliper with me and I measured it. It's about 3 millimeters thick. That's about 1/8 inch. And it was like and it has to fit in this channel here, which is, and I measured it, this is 28 millimeters. So this is just a little bit bigger than this. So we're gonna have to make this a little bit smaller to accommodate this, but the thickness is right already. And I went with the same thickness as this because there's not really a lot of room behind this to work with. You don't want a big old adjuster block. Alternatively, what we could do is just make a whole new adjuster block. but you know, that's a lot of fabrication and stuff. Like if you're like an aftermarket parts company, like Warp 9, Warp 9, or Suron, you know, if you guys want to make your own special adjuster blocks, or just, you know, some other company that makes aftermarket parts for the Suron, be my guest, go for it. Basically, it would just be a block that would have. Basically, it's going to be a block that has like a recess in it for the. There's a hole and then a recess in it for the axle, and then it would just stick out more, and it would have. Yeah, I guess it would have a slit or a line in it, so you could use it to line up to your adjusters, and then it would be like exactly the same, and it would be made out of one whole block. But what we're gonna make is basically this. We're just gonna be making another version of this, and then we're gonna bolt these guys too. These guys, my remaining 2 skateboard wheels. So, like I mentioned in another, like I mentioned in the earlier video, I got these for $10 for the whole pack. I think it was about $10, and they're about 100 a durometer. They're really hard. They're really hard, so they slide really good. And then some 5/16 bolts and like a washer to stick in there. So and then you just basically, this is gonna bolt onto that, just like that. So that's the idea. So that's their proposal, and so we're just gonna have to make it. But yeah. So tonight I just wanted to go over what I propose to make. So, and then we'll see if it actually works. So, I've never actually made something like this before, so it should be interesting. So like I said, I already have the longer axle in there. So basically, it's just gonna go behind this, and I know it works. I mean, I know it'll work. It'll be fine because they made this, so, and this works fine. So it's actually a decent unit. So the important thing will be, we have to make it the right length. We don't want it to be okay. What we don't want is we don't want the axle to be so far, when the axle is all the way in, that the bolt for the that holds this in hits the swing arm, and then like you're kind of stuck. You can't adjust it anymore. We could do is slot it or put different holes in it, but I think what we'll just do is we'll just make it long enough. We'll make it long enough so if I adjust it, if we have to adjust the wheel all the way in for the chain, it won't hit this at the very minimum. And then when this goes out, the slider will just go out with it too. Hopefully it'll be strong enough and it won't bend too much when you hit the pavement, because it would hit, like on the other side it's going to hit your chain and sprocket, and the other side, if it bent enough, it'll hit your rotor. So hopefully it won't do that. But it's not going to be that long. It's only going to be like that long. So I don't. All right, that is the proposed design for the rear Supermoto slider. So that's the first kind of part of this video. Next part, we'll get on it. So, but I just wanted to make that video tonight. I'm gonna get on it tomorrow. So I got all the ingredients together today. It was kind of a pain in the ass to get. So this is the most important part right here. This guy. So this is I got this at Lowe's for $10. It could have been $6, but they didn't have the 3-foot version. I have to buy the 4-foot one, and I don't think we really need that much. We're probably only going to need like maybe that much. We just got to make 2 plates basically. This is a 1/8 by 1 1/4 4-foot long plate steel. Well, it's a weldable steel flat is what it's called, and it's made by Hillman. You can get these at Lowe's and Home Depot. I was actually going to get it at Home Depot. They had a lot more, and then I went to Lowe's and they only had this one. So I was like, dadgummit, come on. But I couldn't get it because I was on the bike and I didn't want to carry it back with me on the bike. So, so I went over there in my Prius and I got this. So, yeah. So So it's a 1/8 stick, 1/8 stick, and 1 1/4 tall. Yeah, 1 1/4 wide is what I'm going to call it. And then it's 4 feet in length, and we're probably really only going to need like that much of it right there. So the rest is just going to be spare material for another project. I chose steel. I chose steel because I wanted it to be strong. This is made out of steel, so I think it's made out of steel. I'm pretty sure this is made out of steel. It's not aluminum. So it would be stronger. It would be stronger and more rigid. Could you make it out of aluminum? If you made it exactly like the Warp 9 slider, yeah, you could. If you made it into one single block that integrated the adjuster into it, yeah, you could probably make it into make it aluminum block. But if it's this thin, I think steel is better. Plus, it's something that's gonna take. Now the problem with steel is it rusts, so we're gonna have to paint this after. It's just like this. It's just like how this is painted black. They have to paint it because it'll rust if they don't. So that's another consideration. When we get it done, we're gonna have to paint it. So yeah. So this set me back about $10. Like I said, the wheels set me back about $10. And then I already had the bolts and the nuts and stuff, but you probably won't spend more than like $5 on bolts and stuff. So there we go, poor man Supermoto sliders. I think I'm not really sure how much a set of sliders will cost you. I'll put a subtitle below what some of them cost. I know they can cost upwards of like $100. So far we're doing good. I've only spent I really haven't even spent anything. I didn't really spend any money on the front ones because I already had all the parts already. just the wheels. The wheels are the parts, the ones that cost me money. So, and that was only like $10. So I'm not sweating that. All right. So, all right, HadesOmega. Okay, HadesOmega here. I got a lot less hair today than I did last time for the last clip. But so yeah, I finally got a haircut. So I spent a good hour or two last night, maybe just about an hour, making these washers so we could press them into our sliders here. So these are the ingredients for our sliders, and then like I mentioned in the front slider video, these are just to put inside here so the bolt or the nut has something to press on. Oops. Yeah, so the washers go in here so the nut has something to press on. So we're gonna go. So the first step is we're gonna go install these washers inside here. I measured it yesterday and it was about like 22 millimeters is what you want, the diameter of your washer. If you and we're using a 5/16 hole, so it fits the bolt perfectly. But you could use pretty much any one you want, I guess, as long as it's not too big that the bolt just goes straight through it. But you want the diameter of the washer to be about 22. If it's too big, you can turn it down a little bit like I did. I used a grind here. If you do it good enough, you press it in with your finger. Well, just like before. I'm just gonna press those on in there. And if you can't get it in, just go get a hammer and just bang it in there with a socket. Okay, so we're just going to go press these onto here. I just got it on my vise here. So I kind of pressed it in by hand. Actually, I want to do it so this little... If you need to get it out, a 10 works pretty good. A deep socket 10. Pops up over there. I want to do it so like this washer has like a little thing on it. I just want it to be the flat side. So kind of just press it in with your thumb or something, and then go get a socket. Beat that sucker in there. Okay, this one. So we're done with that step. So now we got our washers in there. So we want it to be you want something to be not very, you want it to be inside there. You want the nut to be inside there so it's not sticking out so much. You don't want, as much as possible, you don't want any metal sticking out from this because it's supposed to slide on the rubber parts, not the metal parts. Okay, so the first part is done. And so the next part will be, we'll have to make our plate. So basically I'm just going to copy this exactly, pretty much. Yeah. So I gotta use this as a template. Like I could probably just play around with it and figure out what the right size is. You know, like I said, you probably want the puck, the slider. You want the slider far enough away from the swing arm where if you had to adjust your chain all the way inwards, because this is going to move with your chain adjuster, with your axle. So yeah. So this is going to move. This is going to move with your axle because it's held in by the axle bolt. So whenever you adjust your chain or move the axle front and back, it's going to move with it. So you want this to be long. You want the puck to be in a position where it will not hit the swing arm when it's all the way in. That's all. It's a clearance issue thing. So, but for now, we will just mimic this one. So I'm gonna go cut a piece of metal, 2 pieces of metal. That's roughly about as long as the bracket on this. All right. I'll show you what I got. And I'm just going to use like a cutting wheel to do this. Okay, so I've marked off how much we need. So I just made a little mark there. I think that's how much we need. And then I'm probably just going to go cut 2 of these out. I'm going to cut one out and use the other one as a template. But what I'm going to do next is just get a T and then draw a straight line through it. Okay, so I went and got my T and I drew a straight line across, perpendicular to the flat steel, and then we're going to go cut it. Okay, there's the first piece, cut pretty good. So I'm just gonna make another template. Use this as a template, and then draw another line, and then cut another piece off. Alright, that's the second piece. So I'm just going to go clean out these cuts and then continue on our way. Okay, ta-da! There they are. They're exactly the same. Pretty good. Did a good job cutting them. All I did was clean the end so like there wasn't any sharp burrs coming out of it. So basically, I cut it so it was about the same length as this. So hopefully that'll do the trick. The big thing is, like, yeah, we just have to have enough room to drill a hole in it, you know, so we can stick the slider in it. So there, I got 2 exact ones. We're gonna go work on the first one first, and then also we got to do. Well, okay, so the next thing we got to do is make sure the width of this guy is the right size to fit in the channel, and right now it isn't. It's too big. If I line. So if I line these 2 up here, okay, if you line it up, this is much bigger, much bigger. So what we got to do is chop this. We need to make this shorter. So the 1 1/4 is still not enough. So we're going to use this as a stencil, and then I'm just going to draw a line here across there, and then we're going to cut that off with the cutting wheel. All right. Okay, so I gone ahead and just stenciled in how much we need to cut. So everything in the black here has got to go. So I'll go get a size. I think it was 28 millimeters is how much we needed, and this is kind of too much. It's 31 millimeters right now, so about 31. So or 32. Yeah, it's almost like 32. Probably just have it on there wrong. But it's like, yeah, so we got to chop off like 5 millimeters or somewhere around there. So we'll see. But yeah, basically I just use the other one as a stencil. Okay, same deal as last time. We're just going to use the cutting wheel, and I'm just going to cut off what we need to cut off. Whew, man, that was hot. Those sparks create a lot of heat. Okay, so there it is. There's a piece that I cut off right there. Hopefully I cut it properly. It's probably super hot right now, so I'm going to go quench it in some water. I kind of did mess up a little bit there. That should be okay. We'll put that facing towards the swing arm. Okay, it's nice and cool now, I hope. That got really hot, dude. See the steam still rising from it. Okay, so I'm gonna let this cool down a little more, and then we're gonna smoothen it out, and then I'm gonna cut the other one. Okay, so as you can see, we're pretty close to 28. We're like 28 and a half, unfortunately. Yeah, we're a little bit over 28. I think we want it pretty much to be 28. So I think we're too much, but I'm gonna go see if this will fit in the channel, and if it does, well, then we can use it. So. Okay, so what I'm going to want to do is make sure this fits in the channel here. And it does on one side, but it doesn't on the other. So I think I cut it a little bit uneven. So you can see this one goes in there just fine, and the other side doesn't. So what I have to do is just keep on grinding this until it does fit in the channel. So and we'll be good. It's pretty good. It's pretty close fit. All right. Okay, so I went and grinded that one side down a little more on the grinder, just a little bit, and now it fits. So here it is. That side fits. This side fits. But unfortunately, I don't know if the whole thing will fit. The best thing to do would just be to take the wheel off and everything, and see if we can just stick it in there. And boy, do I get the feeling that this may need to be longer. I don't know. The axle's pretty much all the way in there as far as we can get it, though, so I'm not sure. This is the first prototype, so alright, so this is the first one. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So basically I'm just going to use this as a template to stencil what I need to. There it is. So that one went a little better. I didn't blemish it like the other one. The piece I cut off is one of these two pieces here. One of these two pieces bench here. So I'm just gonna let that cool down and smoothen it out a bit, and then we'll get moving along.